All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. The CK post-game show directly from the Golden One Center. I'm your host, Leo Bios. Welcome. I hope you guys are very excited because I am. Obviously, it wasn't a great start. I was very upset about it. A lot of fans were upset about it. The Kings came out guns blazing in that third quarter and they got the job done. Obviously not necessarily content with De'Aaron Fox getting, injured per se. He left the game with hamstring soreness. We know he's been dealing with the hamstring, so I don't know what to think about it. I still have to get some updates from the Kings and from Coach Brown's press conference, which is probably going on right now. I will update you guys as soon as I get any news, or if you guys let me know before, so we can share the news. But if I had to guess, he was walking under his own power. Again, he's been dealing with that for a while now, and maybe he just needs a few games off. I mean, maybe a few days off to really nurture that, right? So we'll see what happens there with De'Aaron Fox. We'll talk about it more. He didn't have a great game. I got Chris Paul right in front of me as well, which is pretty cool. The legend, the point guard. So it's pretty nice to see that he's saying what's up to Matt Barnes' kids. That's pretty awesome there. Just overall, man, what an atmosphere tonight. The Sacramento Kings are legit. And it sucks when they play like the first half because there were too many moments where they made guys like Jocko Lander, or whatever the hell his name is, looking like a damn stud. I mean, it was embarrassing. Like the way they allowed this dude just to kill him in the paint. Lendell he's an okay player. Hey, he's a backup. He's a backup to the backup. Obviously, they started Biyombo over him in place of DeAndre Ayton. So I was upset with how they dealt with him. Obviously, Metu not having a great first half. He was just getting demolished. That wasn't cool to see, honestly, and I'm just tired of it. I know a lot of fans are tired of it. I keep saying it can't get any worse than playing Rashawn. Like it's really bad right now. You can't tell me that it's worse playing Rashawn Holmes. Like, that makes no sense to me. Everything Metu does well, Rashawn can do. Being the lob threat, Rashawn can do that. And he's just a bigger body to guard other guys like the Lendells, like the Biyombos of the world. So that's some of my thoughts as well. Sabonis, just a monster, 27 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, damn near triple-double once again. That's just what he does, man. He does this so often. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to see, and we got to love it. We got to love that, man. Don't take it for granted because you just never know. A guy's banged up. He's getting beat up a lot. You can't take it for granted. This guy is legit. The way he runs the team, when Fox is out, resting, the way he pushes a tempo as a big, the fact that he just wants to make other guys better, the way he's building that great connection with his rook and Keegan Murray, finding him on those back cuts. Guys are overplaying Keegan, then you see him just back cut or cut from the weak side, and you gotta love it, man. We got people on the back as well playing some basketball. We got Matt Barnes' kids, Chris Paul. Got a lot of Phoenix Suns players, lots of Phoenix Suns family right in front of me, so that's pretty neat to watch. Lots of excitement times coming, man. The playoffs is here. It's just right around the corner. Kings are going to end that 16-year drought. Kings are going to finish no less than 3, in my opinion. Now that the dust is settling, anything from 5 to 12, it's really up for grabs. I don't know who won from the Laker game, but it's going to be so interesting. The Warriors beat the 76ers tonight. Without Andrew Wiggins, James Harden did not play. But I'm just telling you, that's one team that I do not want to face in the first round. Now, if you face them in the second round, it's all good. You got to face the better teams in the second, third round, right? But in the first round, if you can avoid that team, because that team is, championship pedigree. They got that DNA. They got the experience. And if they get Wiggins back, and if they get Gary Payton III back, it's going to be crazy to really watch that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But in terms of Harrison Barnes, 23 points, missed some clutch free throws there, but damn, like, he made up for it. I mean, this dude really made up for it. In the post, he is so physical. There aren't many dudes on this team that can guard him. I will say, though, when, who was it? Was it a Kogi? I think it was a Kogi. He had some, yes, it was Josh Okogie. He had some crazy blocks of Sabonis. I believe it was him, yes. And he only had 4 points, but he had some big-time blocks that gave his team second-chance opportunities, or he didn't allow Sabonis to score. That was pretty impressive. So,
What did I tell you? No, what did I tell you?
The Suns are not the same team without Aiden, without KD, but they still got some players on this team without question. So you still got to respect them. They still got the point guard. They still got Devin Booker, who scored 32 points tonight. And if you had, our boy Jeremiah had the over on that 32 and a half, damn, you lost by half a point. That is wild. The odd makers are just crazy, bro. Like, the odd makers are crazy. How the hell do you predict him scoring 32 and then he's going under? Like, that is just incredible, man. That is incredible. 53 wins, here we come. That's for Matthew. Put this up a little bit higher. Light the beam, light the beam. Remind me of the Bulls when they first got DeMar. They looked great in the regular season and could score lots of points. However, busted in the playoffs. Yeah, they're much different than that. The Bulls didn't have a historic offense. The Kings are a historic offense. There is no comparison at all. Light the beam, Clint. What's up, my brother? When they cry, Fox has to miss more than a few games. I mean, it's tough if he misses games, but it might be for the betterment of the team long term, because you can't afford him to continue to just destroy that hamstring, because those games in the playoffs, they're going to be incredibly physical. We all know that, so they need him to be at least 80, 85% going into playoffs. Right now, it don't seem like he's at, honestly. And we'll see what happens there. Ham injury is no joke. I mean, we all know the ham injury is no joke. It's just one of those things where you're just like, man, it's tough. It's tough. We got to remember Fox is a slender 6'3", dancing among the 7 feet trees. He's going to get beat up. I mean, he's gone beat up all season. He's not getting the calls like an Austin Reeves is getting, this month, which is just ridiculous. Sabonis is getting just banged up. I mean, he's already playing with a fractured hand, fractured thumb, whatever you want to call it.
Bang that! Shoot it!
So that's crazy. What's up, Josh? How you doing, brother? Tell Chris we lit the beam, man. 100%, man. The Kings lit the beam tonight.
Hit that step back. Step back.
It's pretty cool, man. Just to see all these people here. Guys are shooting free throws, I guess. I don't know. Here they are. I see them. So, yeah, it was a phenomenal game tonight. It was a phenomenal game tonight. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's show this box score. Hope you guys continue to light the beam, and need you guys to smash that like button. Let's go. Let's go. Chris Paul tonight finished with 15 points, 13 assists. Pretty solid game from him. 5 of 12, 1 of 5 for beyond the arc, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. But again, Devin Booker with 32 points. He had the over tonight, which my boy Jeremiah did. Man, that is crazy. 32 and a half points was the over, and he was under by half a point. He missed 2 free throws, which could have put you over, but he missed those 2 huge free throws, man. But overall, he had a really efficient game, 10 of 16 from the field. It's just Booker being Booker. So that's just what he does, man. Guy's a bucket getter. Then Terrence Ross, I mean, we know he's a torch. a lot like a Malik Monk in that sense, where he can get you buckets in bunches, right? And he did tonight. He was 6 of 10 from beyond the arc. He finished with 30 points. He finished with 30 points. But what pissed me off the most was literally Lindell. Man, let's look at the zoo. Jock Lindell. The guy is averaging 6 and 4. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Obviously, he's a good player. 6'11", 255 from St. Mary's. But they made him look a lot better than what it really is with 17 points, 6 rebounds tonight. Like, that can't happen. Those mental minutes are really killing you, man. He played better once he came in the fourth quarter, once the Kings had the lead. But when they were struggling, it was just a tough ladder to climb because he doesn't offer that defensive stalwart, that defensive presence that you truly need in the backup center. And this is one of those things, man. So, again, not trying to disrespect Jock Lindell, but at the end of the day, they really made him like he was Sabonis in that first half, and he's just not. He was doing a good job in rolling. He's doing his job. But it's just one of those things, man. Like, I thought Edwards had some solid minutes in that first half, 11 minutes. He had the assist, the steal. He had a nice triple threat there that I posted on Instagram. I'm seeing the strides from him. Obviously, only played 11 minutes tonight, but I like what I see. You know, he had that block in the paint, which is big. I mean, the guy is 6'8". He's strong. He's athletic. He's versatile. You love to see it. So lots of positives there. He was a +2 today. And then Davion Mitchell, 27 minutes tonight. He finished with 2 points, but his defensive presence in that first half, really throughout the game, he was really good. I mean, he was making life difficult on anybody that he was on, whether that was Booker, whether that was Chris, whether that was anybody, whether that was Terrence Ross. And you might be thinking, well, those guys combined for 64 points or 62 points. But it's how they got their buckets. And Davion Mitchell made life very difficult on whoever he was guarding, so you got to give him his flowers. No question about it. You definitely got to give him his flowers, man. So, you know, it's part of it. It's part of it. Malik Monk in 19 minutes tonight, 8 points. 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. He wasn't great, but it's okay because when Kevin Huerter puts up 29 points, welcome back, Kevon. 29 points on 6 of 12 from beyond the arc. That's 50% if you didn't know. 10 of 18 from the field. Just incredibly efficient. 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He was a +20 for the game. He's pretty good. He was pretty good tonight. He was incredibly solid, just on so many levels. Yeah, he had defensive miscues in the first half, but he made up for it with the scoring. He made up for it with him attacking the glass and grabbing those boards and finishing off defensive possessions, which he did in the third. He was just on fire. I mean, he got a block, and he just pulled up in transition. The fans are going crazy when that happened. Fans are going crazy when that happened. So that's some good stuff there as well. Lots of positives from Kevin Huerter. And De'Aaron Fox in 21 minutes, he had 19 points. So pretty much a damn point per minute. That's pretty good. Right, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. 7 of 15. He had 2 assists. I mean, he was solid. He was solid for the time that he was out there. And the team really stepped up when he got injured. Matt Barnes and Chris Paul saying what's up right now. It's pretty cool to see all these players and all these fans right now out there. So that's good stuff there as well. Trey Lyles tonight in 15 minutes. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 points. You know, his impact wasn't, I would say, what it has been, but it wasn't bad either. I mean, he gave you what he gave you. So again, 15 solid minutes. I'm really leaning towards playing him at the 5 now as our backup 5 because just to me, but the problem with that too, like there's pros and cons. So the con is you really got to trust either Terrence Davis or Edwards, right? Like going smaller per se. But I honestly do believe like the solution is there for you, and it's just playing Rashawn Holmes or Alex Len. And I'm not the biggest Alex Len fan, but he can't be worse than Shemezi Metu. Like, I understand he gave you 6 points tonight, but he gave up a lot of points. And like I said, he was making Lindell look like he was Sabonis in that first half. That didn't make no sense, man. So that is that. Let's find out what, let's see. Let's find out what these guys had to say after the game. A huge shout out to Crazy Antojitos. They're having a great event tomorrow, by the way, from 3 to 7 p.m. Tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. And I highly recommend you guys to go. It's going to be fun. Lots of local vendors. Great ice cream. We got Chris's Mighty Scato is going to be there as well. Shout out to him. The great, the birria truck, the spot, what I like to call it. It's going to be there, handmade tortillas, so that's pretty good, right? So it's going to be a fun time tomorrow. So let's take a look at what Harrison Barnes had to say after the game.
Harrison, you've experienced this crowd for a while now, but during that run, the volume level in the Golden One Center and that atmosphere, can you speak on that and how much of an impact that had on energizing that run?
It was huge. I mean, I think every single night, we have some of the best fans in the league, and they're waiting to get involved in the game. I think we do ourselves a disservice, especially at home, by taking the air out of the arena, with our play. So I thought definitely in the second half we gave them something to cheer for, and then in return they gave us something they were harder for. So it was great. It was huge. I mean, I think every single night, we have some of the best fans in the league, and they're waiting to get involved in the game. I think we do ourselves a disservice, especially at home, by taking the air out of the arena, with our play. So,
see, that's accountability. Harrison Barnes acknowledging that their play is what takes out the air out of the arena. That's huge. That's a conversation that both Rob and I from Pinstar Basketball had yesterday about Van Vliet's comments about the fans. If they play shitty, then the fans are shitty. It's like, no, bro. If y'all play shitty, y'all are shitty. The fans are there spending their hard-earned money to watch you play. So don't come out here and say that the fans are shitty. Like, no, that's just you not taking accountability for your shitty play. And Harrison Barnes is the perfect consummate professional, a guy that always keeps it real, man. So I just appreciate the guys that are on this team that are straight shooters. They're not rah-rah guys. They're not loud dudes. Sabonis, Fox, and Harrison, they all lead by example. They're all quiet guys, laid-back type of dudes, but they're leaders in their own way. They approach the game the right way. And you have a guy in, the coach of the year, and Mike Brown, always keeping them accountable, and you got to love that, man. It's been super fascinating because first half, I was so angry, and I'm like, Mike Brown has to light a fire under this team, and he really did. Like, it was so fun to watch, and you really can't take it for granted because too many head coaches across the league won't hold their star players accountable. And the first two people that he goes after, it's Fox and Sabonis, because he understands that if he treats them that way, that everybody else will fall in line, right? And Fox talked about that. Sabonis talked about that. They embrace that Mike Brown holds them accountable. That's big time. It's not easy to be scrutinized that way, even when you have a great game. And we've seen Coach Brown be like, I expected him to score 30 points. You're like, what? So he knows when to push the right buttons. So obviously he's not going to be trying to destroy Fox or Sabonis every time he gets like that. That don't make no sense. He does it when he feels the need to do it. He's done it numerous times this season. But it's all love. Like, he's not doing it out of hate, out of spite, to piss off his star players. He's doing it to send the message through the media that, hey, y'all got to get better defensively. they were really good defensively in that third quarter. And the Kings all season long have shown the ability to get stops when it most matters. In that third quarter, they held the Suns to 26 points. The Kings scored 45 points. Think about that, 45 to 26. Second quarter, they allowed 37. The first quarter, they allowed 30 points. That's insane. Like, whatever Mike Brown said in that locker room, it really worked because, again, it lit a beam under his team. That was so fun to watch. The crowd was into it. As Harrison Barnes said, Kevon was making defensive stops and then leading to really solid offense in transition where buckets are easier to get. It's something that you would hope that the Kings could do throughout a game, to do it more consistently. But when your offense is that good, you can kind of get away with that. You know, it's still something that they got to prove in the playoffs when every single possession counts. But I don't see how it won't work in the playoffs just because a lot of the magic does happen in that half court with dribble handoffs, lots of back cuts. It's just a great motion offense that guys just don't stop moving. It's poetry in motion. So I understand that the game does slow down, but it slows down for the teams that mostly get their stuff in transition. And the Kings really, yeah, obviously they get stuff in transition because they have the Lamborghini of the league, but their motion offense runs through Sabonis. And it's just a beautiful thing to watch every single night. And that shouldn't stop in the playoffs. Yeah, teams are going to try and make Sabonis beat you by scoring. They're going to try to take Fox away from you. But at the end of the day, with so much movement going on in that offense, they still got to stay home on Keegan, on Kevin, on Malik, on Harrison. And when you have that much space to operate, it's really hard to key in on one dude. Now, if you have a stagnant offense, you become more predictable and easier to guard. So these are all things that if teams make adjustments to stop Fox and let Sabonis beat you, and there has to be a counter to the counter. And I believe Mike Brown is prepared to counter those type of things, right? And it's just going to be fascinating. I can't wait, man. It's been a long time coming. Like, it's been a long time coming. Let's see. Let's see if we got more stuff here. Let's see. We got more. Okay, we got some more sound bites here.
Impact does that have on continuing a how when you're going on a run like that and the energy level, the volume's getting to that level, how much of an impact does that have on continuing a run in basketball?
It is. It's huge. You can use the crowd as a weapon, especially when you're on a run like that. The building gets going. Other teams might tighten up. So you try to keep that momentum going, and we did that third. It just felt like it was a continuous run. I'm not sure what the breakdown was, but we went from down 12 to up 10, and a lot of that felt like it all happened at once. So they're huge in that span.
That was huge. I mean, the Kings went from being down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points to being up 10 in the snap of a finger. That was so crazy to watch. It almost didn't even hit you. Like, it was just like you blinked and then they're up by 10. That's how explosive this team is, man. It's so fun to watch. You really can't take that for granted. You just got to enjoy this poetry in motion, man. You really do. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We'd really appreciate that. We'd really appreciate that. I agree. Fox is skinny and he would take a pound in the playoffs. That's crazy. You're just a Fox hater. And like I said, put your money where your mouth is, man. He's scoring more than 18 points in the playoffs. He's scoring more than 18 points in the playoffs. If he didn't score more than 18 points in the playoffs, the Kings ain't gonna win many games. That simple. If Fox doesn't score more than 18 points, if he don't average more than 18 points in the playoffs, the Kings will not go very far. That's just crazy. CP's a lame with all that flopping he does and having the audacity to act like he's being fouled. I mean, it's just part of the game at this point. He is who he is. LeBron, Luka, all the Harden, Embiid, Joker, like all these dudes, they all do it, man. They all do it. Let's hope that De'Aaron never does it, because perception-wise, it does make you look weak, right? But at the end of the day, when we think about all the all-time greats, and Chris Paul is an all-time great, we're not going to refer to him as the flopper. We're going to refer to him as a point guard. We're going to refer to him as one of the best point guards to ever live and play this game. So I understand the frustration from a fan's perspective if you're on the opposing side, but you also got to appreciate the greatness and the IQ that he provides every single night. He puts on a show for people, man. I mean, this dude has been doing it for so long, and it would be mad disrespect to be like, oh, he's just a flopper. Like, no, like he's an all-time great player. He's an all-time great player. Which not, dang, I'm going to tomorrow's game and Fox gets hurt. I hope he can go, but I understand it's better to safe than sorry than hamstring. Yeah, I mean, hamstrings are dangerous, man. I wouldn't force it if I was him. They're playing the Utah Jazz. Playing the Jazz, right? They got to get a W tomorrow at all costs to keep up with the Memphis Grizzlies, who won tonight as well. So they're still what, 2 games in the loss column, I think. Let's double check right now. They are, yes, there's still 2 games in the loss column to the Memphis Grizzlies. It's not over yet. As of today, they would face Golden State. The Kings would. That's not what I would want, but if they can get Minnesota, if they can get the Lakers, that would be great. Like, that would be a lot of fun. Vince and Isaiah. What's up? Let me see. Let me put the beam. Light the beam. Okay. Let me put this guy. Let me put little. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Say what's up, Leo.
Hi.
What's up, little Isaiah?
Just say light the beam.
Like the beam.
Yes, yes, sir. That's my boy. That's my boy. Man, what'd you think, Vince?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Man, what a game. What's up, man? Yeah, no, we're auto driving the whole way here back home, So you guys don't ever drive and do videos, but when you have auto drive feature, it's nice. When you have the auto drive feature, it's worth it. But dude, what a game, man. What a game. I haven't been on a show in a while, so you're my first show. I haven't even done my show in a long time, so to be back on and talking about the Kings, good stuff, man. What a fun event to be at today.
It was amazing. Like I said, I was so pissed off. Like I said, in that first half, I was so upset. I'm like, what am I watching? I'm watching a team with no sense of urgency, and then the next thing you know, it's like bam, and the snap of a finger, they were up by 10. It was insane.
Yeah, it was weird though, and me and the whole group that I was with up there on that level we were like, man, look at the free throw discrepancy that was there. We had seen the Kings at 4 free throws to the Suns. I think they were at like 12 or 16 free throw attempts, and I'm like, what in the world?
Right.
I was like, there has to be a comeback. These fouls were just ridiculously like lopsided, and I think this is what Monty Williams was talking about during their loss not that long ago. So to see them get these calls, but then to have it fair out toward the end, man, you can tell that the Suns were definitely frustrated with the officials right off the get. That's why I think you saw an early technical on Chris Paul and on Devin Booker. But man, it was a great game to see the Kings come back from a double-digit deficit to then come back and win almost by double digits. Bro, it was amazing as we finally get to part.
Play Minecraft.
So
Yeah, man. It was just one of those things where Kevin Huerter really took it upon himself to not only score, but to crash the board, to get that block. To me, the game to me, the keys of the game are like the best play was definitely that block that Kevin Herter had, and then he just like took it upon himself to just pull up in transition, like such a great highlight for him, and
I
he
think
had the ability to
the
rock
another thing
in.
for Kevin Herter. Yeah, I mean another thing for Kevin Herter, as I turn this light back on, another thing for Kevin Herter, which I thought was like amazing, was he was slumping. Like he was slumping in that first half. There was no shots going in whatsoever for him, but a shooter shoots, and he found his rhythm, and then to score over 20 points in a game where then I'm still not sure, and maybe you found out already like what's going on with Fox. But to not see Fox in that fourth quarter and the Kings still being able to hold on, a lot of it, give credit to Kevin Herter. They could not leave him when he was on the floor. They could not leave him, and it just speaks to his shooter shooting and the confidence the team has and Kevin Herter has in that shot.
Yeah, the only update right now from the Kings is the medical update, which was the same when everybody else tweeted out, which is De'Aaron Fox is out with the right hamstring soreness. They haven't updated us with anything. Let's find out if NBC King said anything. It doesn't seem like it. So, yeah, me personally, I don't think he plays tomorrow, and I don't think he should.
He won't. Now,
So,
I'll put it to you this way. I watched that Kings bench throughout the time he got checked out. He walked to the locker room and never came back. Like normally, even with someone with an injury, like you've seen hamstring injuries, they'll sit on the bench, they'll come back, and they'll have like some type of pad on their leg, even though they're ruled out for the remainder of the game. He did not come back to that bench, to the floor whatsoever for the remainder of the night. And I think it's because I'm hoping it's nothing like a grade 2 or whatever type of strain where he's out for the remainder of the season. But it is something that's a little bit concerning at the fact that, Fox, fourth quarter has been his time, and he was not able to be there in a game against a team that they could be seeing in the first round. So
100%. They have 35 losses, and the Warriors have 36. Like I was saying earlier, they beat the Sixers with no Wiggins. They didn't have Harden. But that was a pretty impressive victory on how they came back. They were down by double digits at one point in that third, fourth quarter. So to come back on the team who had no answer for Joel Embiid, it just comes to show the exact thing that I'm talking about, which is that championship DNA that I would want to avoid at all costs if I'm the Kings. Like, that's the one team that I don't want to face in the first round. Anybody else but the Warriors.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, and I think it was, and I don't agree with him much, but I believe it was Colin Cowherd that said that I think the Warriors get bored during the regular season when you've seen victories so many times, or like you just get bored during the regular season, and again, I don't agree with Colin Cowherd much at all, right? But on this one, I'm like, you know what? I actually believe that because when there's games on prime time and it's a big moment to where like if you don't win, you could be falling down to 10th and competing against the Lakers in a playing game. They step up in those moments and they take advantage of whatever your weaknesses is, which was today James Harden not being there. And you're right, they were down by 11. I had that game going on while I was watching the Kings game, and to see them down by, I think it was 11 points. Honestly, Jordan Poole took a horrible shot that went in from 3-point range, but that ignited that team to just be like, we're going to start making buckets. Don't leave me open. And everyone started hitting.
Klay Thompson hit a huge three. It was Steph, Klay. Like, if those guys are hitting, that's such a dangerous team, bro. I would try to avoid Golden State at all costs.
They could not stop Joel Embiid either. There was no answer for size. Like, if they play a team like the Kings, I think the one thing we will see is Sabonis cooking, because they could not get a rebound. They could not stop him from doing any post moves off the dribble. Sabonis or Embiid was just doing work. Even today, like so many times a day, like you see Sabonis make guys that are huge in this league look like they ain't even seen a weight room before. Yeah, I screamed it like 3 times with the guy next to me. Shout out to the guy who's sitting next to me. He started it. I was with them. Too little. They're too little down there. Every matchup is barbecue chicken. This guy to the right of me that was sitting next to me and Isaiah was cracking me up the whole time. It was the best. It was the best.
That's awesome. But when you look at the standings, man, right now you got the Clippers at 35 losses, the Suns at 35, so that's the 4 or 5 matchup. You got Golden State with 36 losses. Out of those 3 teams, who would you want to face in the first round? That's tough, but with Paul George,
honestly, can I give you the answer that I think any of the Kings players would give you right now?
which one?
Any of them.
Yeah, I mean that's the right attitude. That's the right attitude.
I think obviously the one that you don't want to see is probably the Warriors. There's a championship caliber team there.
Yeah.
I also don't think you want to see Phoenix whatsoever in that first round if they somehow fall into the play-in. I think your best matchup is either Dallas or Minnesota.
But if the Kings don't
and to see Dallas fall today,
it's tough though because the Kings got to face a 6 seed because the Grizzlies have an easy ass schedule. So unless the Grizzlies lose some games, the Kings are going to stay at 3.
the Kings are going to stay at 3, and they are going to play the 6 seed. Who's the 6 seed currently right now?
Golden State.
That's a tough matchup, and you know it's also a historical matchup though, and I will say that. I mean, like to see the Kings break this longest drought ever of 16 years, and then to face off against the Warriors team. Neither of these teams have ever been good at the same time, so to see that for the first time, I think it would be a historical moment. You know
want
what I mean?
Lakers,
so it's like,
though.
Yeah,
I want the Lakers in the first round.
I mean, I don't. I really don't. I think with LeBron back. With LeBron back, you see LeBron, AD, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, like they all have all the shooting they need now. Yeah, they have all the shooting they need now, to where it's like Austin Reeves, bro, is a real player. Like he's a shooter.
We lost Vince there. Vince, you're frozen. Call back. Vince, you're frozen. Call back. Let's see. Here we go. Give me 1 sec. Let me put you back. Light the beam. There you are. You froze for a little bit. You're good. You're good. What were you saying?
I was just saying that Austin Reeves is a gamer. Like I mess with Austin Reeves. He's a flopper. He knows how to flop. He knows how to do it all. I mess with Austin Reeves. He shouldn't be
getting more free throws than De'Aaron Fox, but yes.
I agree, but hey, the dude's a gamer, and when you play with the Lakers, the refs love you. That's a fact. Whether you want to like it or not, it's a fact.
That is so ridiculous, bro. I hate that. Like, just call the game what it is, man. Like, if Fox gets fouled, just call it. Like, but it's just human error, right? It's one of those things. It's just. I mean, even today though, like there was a lot of calls where I was very. I mean, there's a lot of flopping by Chris Paul, but I mean, what are you gonna do in those moments? Like Chris Paul, that foul on Kevin Huerter, I think it was in the third quarter, where Chris Paul tries to like bump into him, and then he just falls down, and Kevin Huerter's just watching him and trips over his foot, and they call a foul on Kevin Huerter, and now the Kings are in the penalty. That blew my mind. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's a foul!" And I even screamed. I was like, "Mike Brown challenged that. That's wild. That's a wild just to let that pass. That was a horrible call." How do you feel about this comment from Candid Fob? Austin Reeves is a poor man's Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
That's not a bad thing.
I mean, maybe it's just me, and
that's not a bad
it probably
thing.
is just me. But I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Huerter's handle, so I think Austin Reeves has a better handle than Kevin Huerter. But Kevin Huerter has a better shot, so I'm gonna say I agree. I mean, this is like the most not trying to be racist thing I can say, but he's a white boy that can shoot, and he fits that team when they pass him that ball, and it's nice.
No, 100%. I mean, you're not lying. It's one of those things. That white boy can't shoot. It's just a fact.
That white boy can shoot, and he can score off the dribble, and he's a great actor. Shout out to the DJ today to play the Oscar Goes to Chris Paul after the foul I was talking about with the Kevin Huerter flop.
What'd you think of De'Aaron Fox being so animated when he was like lunging himself, pretty much talking smack to Chris Paul that he was flopping? I don't know if you got it, if you watched that.
No, yeah, I think that was in the second quarter.
Yeah.
It was probably like right. It was
Fox
like
is
2
talking
to 3
his
plays,
shit,
either
which I
after or
love.
before that play happened.
Like Fox is talking shit to everybody. Like I love seeing that.
I don't even think he's talking shit, bro. Like from his demeanor, I feel like he's just telling them the truth. Like I feel like De'Aaron's shit talking is more like Tim Duncan shit talking, where he's like, "Oh yeah,
I got
you know you're flopping," or "Hey, bro, good move, yeah, good move." And then because then when he scores a bucket, he goes, "I am that guy. I'm the shit. I am that guy." And you gotta, hey, I think that's why people love De'Aaron Fox. Like he's really grown into this role as the lead guy, and you have to applaud it.
I know. So obviously, I'm super glad that you're on, and I've been thinking about this because I remember how you made fun of me, how everybody was making fun of me when I said, De'Aaron Fox or Paul George. You remember that? And like I said,
Yeah.
like long term, I'm like I mean, I'm taking Fox. So
I mean, he got years to go. Paul George had years on him.
Yeah.
So there's still time. Like I'm not gonna say he's better than Paul George because Paul George has a full bag, bro. To be that tall and do the things that he does, Paul George is still like a phenomenal player. So I'm not gonna discredit Paul George
and
by
I'm
any
not
means.
either.
Plus, I'm a real big Paul George fan. But I tweeted it, bro. Like you are right. You did say that, and I was like, I tweeted it. I think it was the game against the Clippers. I was like, who's better? Like who's on a higher tier, Paul George or De'Aaron Fox? And I think right now, especially for this season, it's De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, for sure. This season, yeah. But again, like we have to give guys, I would say, the love for doing it consistently for a long time. And Paul George has been doing that for a long time. So I'll give him credit there. But I feel like the trajectory of De'Aaron Fox, like his shot is here, but it's not really there yet. Like his 3-point shot, like that's only going to get better. So like when that happens,
I will say this though. I will say the counter to that though. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But the counter to that though, it's hard to see someone continue to see growth at the age that he's at. Like it's hard to see like continued development.
He's 25. He's 26.
No, but I mean like that's like when you start hitting like you're like, oh, this now I'm at my prime. So I mean, but at the same time, I say that, and then I started thinking about of like guys like Vince Carter who became shooters after they lost their athleticism. So what am I even talking about? You know what I mean? But I do want to put that into like perspective where it's like it's hard to see more growth from a player that's probably going to be now hitting their prime. You know what I mean? So.
But I think the growth you're talking about is more so like athleticism,
game, probably.
like those types of things. He already has all that. Like to me, it's just like the isolated skill sets, like shooting the ball. And I think with time and how every coach is now like a shooting guru, and everybody thinks that they can do it. And I feel like that's going to be more of a commodity going forward for a lot of players because everybody is seeing guys like Kevin Huerter getting paid or are going to get paid because of what they can do. Guys like Buddy, guys like Joe Harris, like all these guys have gotten
Bogey.
paid.
Like look at a guy like Bogey or Bojan Bogdanovic. Guys that can put the ball on the floor, but not only that, just hit open shots consistently. Like those guys are going to make money.
Isaiah Joe, who I love,
example.
which I told you about Isaiah Joe, he was with the Sixers. I'm like, this motherfucker can shoot the effing ball, bro. And like he's shooting the ball great with the Oklahoma City, who lost today to the Lakers. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, we got to do a pod soon. I know you got to go, but we got to do a pod soon, bro. Where you set up and we just break down the film, man. Because this first half was ugly as hell to watch, and we got to talk about it.
Yeah, it was ugly, but I think a lot of it too was just shots weren't dropping. Like you have to give the Kings credit to keeping to their same game plan. Like they've been, and honestly, dude, like, and first off, I'm gonna do this twice here before I hop off. One, I called the Kings making the playoffs during the preseason, and I want everyone to remember that. That's number one. Number two, I want to call back to the Kings offense during my Coach Nick interview. Because now, a month ago, Coach Nick posted this video of the Princeton offense and just how well the Kings run it. And it's like, man, the opportunities they see. And everyone thinks that the Kings, because they play at this fast speed, that they don't have a half-court set for the playoffs. Guys, a majority of their sets
I just said that,
are still fast. because of not just the fast break. It's because of the actions that they are made because of Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox having the ball in their hand and willing to make instant decisions. That's the only reason why I get very frustrated seeing like a guy like Davion Mitchell having the ball for so long as the number 2, because he likes to pound the ball a little too long, and that second unit gets a little sluggish at times when shots aren't falling because they like to play a lot of bounce the ball and like try and drive and kick. Where like when you
100%.
see that starting 5, it's a lot of pin down screen from Sabonis, DHOs, like all that stuff. Like it's like, man, bro, like there's so much going on that if you're not like a basketball savant to see all these other movements, it's like you're kind of just missing it.
I mean, I said that earlier. You're right. Like, everybody says, "Oh, the game slows down." I'm like, yeah, but the Kings are doing this shit at a historic level in the half court. Like,
Yes,
that's why it's
that's
going
the
to
difference.
translate. That's
That's
why
the
it'll
difference.
And the difference between that team and like the team with Dave Yeager, all that was in transition. That was different.
They were the
This is
fastest team
yeah,
based on transition, based on the ball off the rim, getting coast to coast and finishing faster. They were
100%.
planning on finishing faster. This Kings team plays a half court set just as fast as they play off the full court. And the reason why they're able to play so fast is because 1 through 5 is willing to take up the ball and then get into their set, and the actions that they get off of 2 screens in one play. They have 2 to 3 screens in one play to find somebody, and they're knocking them shots down. So, I mean, give them credit. Give Mike Brown credit. Give these guys credit for knocking down shots. Give Monty McNair credit for building this type of team that is built around like these guys, Sabonis
these
and,
two
and
guys,
Fox. Like,
both you and I talked about that. The Kings have a direction for the first time in 16 years. You got to build around these two cornerstones. They did that. They addressed their needs in the offseason. They got
100.
Keegan, they got Malik, they got Kevin. And that's just big time because now all these dudes can shoot the ball, and it just made life so much easier for Fox and Sabonis. And Fox was putting up 30 last year. Like, those two guys are a top 3 pick and roll duo. Like, but the perception was still there. Oh, it's all empty. But it's like, no, like, they showed that they can do
team
it.
was losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be, you know, the Kings are low fruit, like low hanging fruit. Like I said with the whole Tyrese thing, it's like, yeah, if they had reversed the records, they would say the Kings are doing the malpractice. But because they're the number 2, number 3 seed, it's a win-win. I'm like, no, bro, like the Kings are winning this trade. Until Tyrese has a winning season, then we can talk.
I think it's still a win-win because of what the Pacers are over-exceeding their expectations. So I still think of it as a win-win. But I get what you're saying.
As the 11 seed?
I get what you're saying because until they start winning, but they're over-exceeding their expectations because they were kind of playing for that play-in. They're still kind of in it, but you know, it's like they're a year away from being a year away.
Shit, man. People get impatient. I mean, we both know that.
That's true. That's true.
People get impatient.
I think
bro.
the big question is like, what do the Pacers do? Like now that they decided to keep Miles Turner with Halliburton, I don't think Buddy's going anywhere. I think there's like, you know, that Benedict Matherin's a starter next year. They're gonna. I think they're trading Duarte away for his potential.
Trade him to the Kings.
And they're gonna use that pick. I think now they know that they need to go for that pick, and just whatever they can get in the offseason. This is a big offseason, so.
It's a huge off season, so we'll see what happens, bro. But I'm gonna let you go, bro. But appreciate you calling as always. Let's
for sure. Hey, I was listening
soon.
a little bit. Yeah, I was listening to a little bit, and Isaiah and I were like almost to our destination. He's already inside, hanging out with his cousins. He wanted to go do the sleepover thing, but I was like, you know what, let's just call in one time and see if he'll answer for you and I, because he just wanted to say like the beam. This is his first game for this season.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Good time.
Well, appreciate you guys, and I'll text you the information for tomorrow's event.
Yeah, let me know if you also want to hoop tomorrow night around like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, brother. Peace.
Yep. That is Vince Miracle, my guy, my brother, man. Great stuff there. Again, to reiterate what the standings are, you got Memphis and the Kings at 2 and 3. That's most likely a lock. That's going to end up being 2 and 3. What we don't know is 4 through 12. 4 through I think Utah's going to fall off, to be honest with you. So 4 through 11, it can really change, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to really watch that. I really can't wait, man. Like, I'm ecstatic. Before we watch a little bit of that film of the things that I'm talking about, let's see if the Kings came up with any of the videos. So we got Kevin. We got a little bit of this. Let's see. I do want to listen to what he had to say.
Harrison, just for you guys to step up in that moment with Fox out of action, just how big was that for you guys to have that moment against a team and such a huge moment for you guys?
I mean, it was big. I think coming in at halftime, coach just said it plain. Like, if we decide to show any type of physicality, get any type of stops, we have a chance to come back in this game. But if not, we're going to get blown out. So, I was proud of the group for responding the way we did. Just coming up with, possessions, making shots, just making things happen out there.
HB, I know you had missed those 2 free throws. How nice was it to have that opportunity again later in the game to kind of seal it?
Yeah, I mean, those are plays like those. You obviously wish you had them back, but and a layup too. But we just keep playing. Like I said, just proud of our guys, just continuing to find different ways to win and put ourselves in position to have opportunities where, and that's not the last thing I'll remember tonight.
Yeah, HB, the difference, what do you see as the difference defensively in that first and second half, specifically when it comes to defending Phoenix's backcourt?
I think just ball pressure, physicality, but then everyone just be on a string. I felt like in the first half, everybody was able to have a field day. Whether it wasn't just Chris Paul and Devin
Right.
Booker, it was Lawndale, it was Torrey Craig, it was McCogie. So I think coming in the second half, us able to get into our coverages. If you have Davion, you have Kessler, you have Keegan, applying pressure, everyone behind them, supporting them, and then we're just tighter with rotations.
Harrison, you've experienced this crowd for a while now, but during that run, the volume level in the Golden One Center and that atmosphere, can you speak on that and how much of an impact that had on energizing that run?
It was huge. I mean, I think every single night, we have some of the best fans in the league, and they're waiting to get involved in the game. I think we do ourselves a disservice, especially at home, by taking the air out of the arena, with our play. So I thought definitely in the second half we gave them something to cheer for, and then in return they gave us something to go harder for. So it was great.
HB, how was it having Kevin back after those 3 games he missed, especially in that third quarter with those 16 points he scored?
I mean, he looked fresh. I mean, we've been saying that for a while. I mean, the guy's just, it was good to see him out there. He's been working really hard, and I think the biggest thing with this team is, we hate not being in the flow. So I think for him, he was just chomping at the bit to get back. Obviously made a huge impact for us and played great.
HB, what's the level of concern seeing Fox go out of this game and knowing that you're down the stretch here, how much you guys might need him?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, he's a professional. He's going to get treatment around the clock. So whether it's tomorrow, the next day, or whatever it may be, we're confident that he'll be back. But we're also confident in the guys that we have. We know that Davion will have a bigger role. He'll step up with that. And, Malik and Kevin, will handle those ball handling responsibilities.
Harrison, what's the talk in the locker room amongst you guys, this last stretch of games?
Really, I mean, coming into tonight, just, the last 10. Russ trying to put together games where we're getting ready for the playoffs, knowing that we're going to take that next step. The 50-50 basketballs, taking charges, coming up with deflections, all those little things. I think, we're having to take that next step as a team. I think, guys are excited about that.
So let's talk about those little things that Harrison Barnes is referring to, because they weren't doing those little things in that first half, and NBA.com has put up all this stuff. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that I'm referring to with Jock Landale. So let's see his 11 attempts tonight. It's not going to be pretty, but this is why we do this, okay? So let's find out what they did, man. So on this first one, we see this hard hedge double here. Good rotation here. Everyone's on the string. The problem with this is that Metu overplays this. Like, you can't overplay that. You just gotta try and stay down, not lose your composure, and not allow this to happen. So now you get Warren to attack. There's nobody in position because Metu is out of position, and he does this a lot, right? Just such a problem. Like, you got to be on the string when you do stuff like this, okay? Like you just got to close out without overplaying that, and that's what he did, right? And there's a contest there by Fox, but at this point, you're out of position. No more Metu. Edwards can't stop Jock, so that's just easy, right? On this second one here, here we see, here we go. Metu, I mean, so let's go back a little bit. Get this hard hedge here, as opposed to just hedging it. He switches on to him, right? And now all these two guys are in no man's land. And you get an easy dump off pass. You got Malik Monk, which is barbecue chicken for a guy like this. You're just not gonna stop it. Like, you gotta make a decision right here. Like this wasn't supposed to be a full-on double team, right? Also, TD kind of gave up there a little bit. Like, if he saw that happen, like, just kind of fill a gap right here. And sometimes the Kings half-ass double, and they don't know what to do. That's just the reality of it, right? Like, that can't, these are breakdowns that just can't happen. Like, Jock is looking amazing. Dribble handoff with the point guard. Easy pass. Like, bro, play Chris Paul to score. You know Chris Paul wants to pass this ball. Why are you falling? Do you not read the scatter report? We all know what Chris Paul wants to do. He is the point god, not the scoring god. Like, come on, man. This is comical. Like, what do you think he wants to do? How about you just make him shoot this shot, bro? Seriously. Like what are you doing, Metu? These are the minutes where they just took off. Like, you can't allow this to happen. This is bad basketball, man. Like, you can't allow that to happen, period. Here we go again. De'Aaron Fox, okay, you're doing a good job. A fake dribble handoff, right? WAP, lack of communication here. What are you doing? So what this was supposed to be here, this should have been a switch. And Monk and Fox did not communicate. Really that simple, right? And then when that happens, right? Watch Metu, okay? Obviously Metu has to switch, so Metu's not at fault here. Metu, for the first time and out of all the plays that we broke it down, he's not at fault. He did what he had to do, which was stop the ball. And that's just an easy pass. Like, basketball is simple, but yet these guys just make it really hard. It's frustrating. Like, it really is. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, need a little Iverson cut here from the big man, which leads into a dribble handoff. Like, man, you just got to know your personnel, bro. Like, who are you guarding? What do guys want to do? You got to be a little bit quicker, but at the same time, this is just a good shot. This is a well-ran offense. Terrence Ross had it going. So it does make sense for Sabonis to kind of overplay that a little bit. He was caught a little bit flat-footed here, but it's just a good heads-up play there. We'll give the Kings a pass on this one. See this hook shot here. So we get a pick and roll, okay. Chris Paul rejects it, okay. And it's interesting, I don't know if this was a switch or what had happened, but you got Sabonis on Warren. You got HB on Jock, and you got a one-on-one matchup between Chris Paul, I was going to say Chris Murray, and Keegan Murray, and he's dancing. Oh, good defense there. He fell for it, but he just stayed down. And that's just barbecue chicken. Like, he's just too deep into the paint at this point. Chris Paul noticed, like, Chris Paul's head is up the whole time. He never dribbles with his head down. Have you guys noticed that, right? You see that? He just waits till he gets position. Harrison Barnes is too little for this Jock guy. And I just don't know. Yeah, like, this was intentional. I thought there was a switch, but you just had Sabonis. I wish we can go even more further back, but we can't. Sabonis was just on Warren the whole time. That don't make no sense. What's up, bro? Yeah, this is just comical defense by the Kings. Let me see a jump shot here. Let's see. Pick, roll. Oh my God. Bro, this team infuriates me. Why are you, like, why? At this point, Jock is just killing you. And you fall for it again. You get the switch here, right? You got Harrison Barnes saying switch, switch, switch. And yet, you allow him to roll. Like, why? These are the bonehead plays that I'm talking about from the hit. That pisses me off watching this, man. Like, come on. Here we go again. High hammer screen here. Just gets Booker going downhill. Great double team here. So when this happens, you got to have guys on the string and communicating and rotating the right way. So let's see what happens. Okay, that's the right pass for Devin Booker. That's just tough. I mean, you got two guards on the back line trying to stop that. That's the right play. That's just good offense, right? Like, that's just, you just tip your hat off to them. Like, I'm gonna give the Kings a pass on that one, but the other one, man, come on. Let's see. Dribble handoff here to Booker. Oh my God. They got lucky, bro. Like, what are you doing, Sabonis? Like, you're either gonna double him. This is a half-assed double team. This is what I'm talking about. It's just half-assed. Like, come on. Like, why? Booker missed him. I mean, he's kind of late on that. And again, he was late, so they missed it. Oh, he actually made that. What the hell am I talking about? Jesus. So he's out of position here, right? Nice little hammer screen up top. Terrence Ross for three. Sabonis not in position here, right? Jock is already going for it, full strength, and he just gets it. Luckily, I don't know if they called that, but Jock beat their butts, man. Like, he really did. Like, he really did. So that is that. So those are the biggest things for me. from today. I think it's been fun. We've been on for an hour and 4 minutes. What a game. Great second half, great energy, and just really appreciate you guys doing the live conversation. Make sure you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe. And a huge shout out to Crazy Antojitos in South Sac. It's going to be a fun event tomorrow for sure. But ugly first half. You got to give credit to the Kings and what they did and what they could accomplish in that second half. It was incredibly fun. It was such an energetic atmosphere. The fans were into it. I just love this offense. It's truly poetry. It's poetry, man. It's poetry in motion. It's just so smooth. Everything that runs on the string. They're starting five. They're incredibly unselfish. They all play for one another. They have a lot of deficiencies, as we just pointed out, right? We saw a lot of those things that infuriate you, but they can just outscore you and put up buckets so fast that it truly does make up for it. But when you start facing teams that are like the Celtics level type of teams, there really isn't a team like that in the West, if I'm being honest. In my opinion, I don't think the Nuggets are at that level either. So the only team is if Golden State gets their act right and they're all healthy, they're that level of team because they proved it last year. And we can't discredit them. Like, they beat the Boston Celtics last year when we all thought the Celtics would actually beat them. So I don't think the Nuggets are the team to beat. You know, they may be the number 1 seed, but if I'm a Kings fan or a Kings player, you shouldn't fear the Denver Nuggets. I'm just being honest. That's how I feel about it. But that's going to do it, y'all. I appreciate you guys, people that watch this after as well. It was a fun time. People got to shoot hoops right after the game. We got to see Chris Paul right in front of me and Matt Barn kids and all these people, man. Thank you guys so much on behalf of the entire CK family, Basketball Zone family. I thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.